Hi, everybody. My name is Sad. Today I'm going to talk to you about time management in music. Well, time management is really not the real word. It's how to make time for music, how to make time to make music, how to make time to listen to music. So, a bit of background. My name is Sad, and I used to work in corporate for many years. And parallel to that, I would play music, create music, write music, perform music, and quite frankly, doing both was challenging. And it's been a couple of years where I'm dedicating myself fully to music. But I felt I could share with you some advice about how to be able to pursue a career in another field. I don't know, like corporate, education, architecture, who knows, and still be able to make time for music and practice music and write music. So my number one approach would be to question a bit, either you look at your days, how every day is going on, or every week, and try to find some spot for making music. In my case, for example, I would dedicate every morning when I would wake up and before I would go to work, I would dedicate 15 minutes to practice my piano. I would do scales every morning right after the breakfast, and before commuting for work, I would dedicate 15 minutes plus a little 15 extra. So I would start by doing my scales on the piano, and then usually give myself 5 to 10 minutes more to start something on the piano, usually like an idea, some chords, the beginning of a melody. And my big advice for time management and how to use it properly is to always have a way to record what you're doing. Because if you have a day job or if you're very busy with family, the time you're going to dedicate to music is not going to be continuous. So it's going to be an addition of little moments. And a way to make the most of these moments is to be able to record so that you can pick up later what you started. And obviously your flow of creation is going to be cut in different pieces, but sometimes from that discontinuous approach, you can have it can be a very nice angle, because if in the morning you start something on the piano, you can come back later on, and the fact that you start from there can be a very interesting thing. You can come out with idea you wouldn't have had if you had continued, and it has its pros and cons. Another thing is taking into account your own energy and your own vibe. Clearly, if you look at your typical day and you realize that you might have more time or more energy in early morning, it can be nice to tap into it. Sometimes you feel that you have this a bit of a nostalgic or a more inward energy late evening, if that is compatible with your with the setup of your place. It can be nice. And so also if you do an acoustic instrument, a loud one, for example, a trumpet, it is challenging because you need to position that practice in a certain time of the day. For example, I play many instruments and I also play the drums. So as respect to my neighbors, my constraint is that I will not play the drums before noon, and I will not play the drums after 7 p.m. But I realized that constraint was actually a great way for me to play the drums. And paradoxically, because I cannot play them at another time, the drums are the instrument that I play every day, because I know I cannot play it during evening, so I'll definitely play it before 7 p.m. So you see that constraints on loud acoustic instruments can become a great trick and an opportunity for you to make sure you will practice the instrument. So that's a bit within the time frame of a day. You could also look to it into the time frame of a week. Maybe you realize that you will want to make music on weekends or certain days of the week. To give you another example, when I was working, I had a 9 to 5. There was a jam session in Paris that would happen on Sunday evening, a super cool blues jam session. And it's not the most compatible with a corporate job that will start Monday 9 a.m. But I realized that if I would go to the jam session, I might end up late at midnight. I might sleep 7 hours or 6 instead of 8. But the energy the music gave me was incredible. And so I would arrive Monday morning, maybe slightly tired, but with so much energy. So, putting your music practice in the time frame of a week can be interesting. Also very important, making time for music is not only making time to play music. Making time for music is making time for listening to music. So obviously, thanks to the fact that we can listen to music everywhere, you can, for example, record something. This is what I used to do. I would record something in the morning or during the evening, and the day after, as I was commuting by car to my work, I would listen to what I would have recorded, and that would give me a different ear to what I recorded. And ideas would come, and I would think of these ideas and come back later on and play and record the additional ideas, like an additional layer of synth or an additional layer of drums. So you can see how being able to record your music and being able to listen to your own music on the go in moments where you're commuting or having your breakfast, the prerequisite of this is to be able to record, having the technical setup to put this music on, let's say, your phone. In my case, I won't get into the technicals point of view of that or the specifics, but make sure you have a way to record and make sure you have a way to have this music available on your phone, because listening to your own music is a very good tool to have you want to make more music. And it's a way to use a time that is not technically making music, but it's time for listening to music. Making time for listening to other music than yours is obviously super, super important. And you can combine it with so many things, with doing your dishes or the laundry, but make sure you have an active listening. Making time for music and making time for only listening to music is super important, because your active listening will make you realize and be aware of many things in your favorite songs that you might have listened 1,000 times but still didn't realize that there was this little guitar licks in it, this little percussion you haven't noticed. So making time for music when you have a busy schedule is also making time for listening actively to music. Also, we've spoken about the time frame of a day, the time frame of a week. What about the time frame of a whole year? Like, how will you make time during the year to play music and to not play? That's another interesting thing, because you can put things in place to make sure you're playing every day, you're playing every week. But maybe when you're going to be traveling, or if you have a long period, you didn't have the opportunity to play music. And so just my advice, when you have spent weeks without playing music and you're reapproaching it, it's also an opportunity. Obviously, if you're a virtuoso and you practice every day and you're gonna leave your instrument for 3 weeks, when you're gonna come back, you're gonna feel rusty. But that's not what I'm talking about. When you come back and haven't played music for quite some time, you come really with a fresh mindset and a fresh angle on your instrument. So by experience, not playing music for weeks is amazing when you come back. And so make sure you are recording because some very nice things are going to come out of that, and make sure you let go of the technical point of view that you have on your musicianship. So quite straightforward. Making time for music is making time for music within a single day. It's making time for music during your week, and it's making time for music during your year, and making the most of the time that you're not making music. And also making sure you can record everything you play so that you can pick on it later, so that also you can listen to it as you're doing other things, commuting, because this way you can always have music with you. That's it for today's episode, this week's episode. See you next week. This was Keys to Inspire, and if you like this kind of content, please consider subscribing. If you have a topic you would like me to cover for the next one, please put it in the comments, and otherwise, take care. Bye.